Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on BTB Savage being shot and killed just days after his Vlad TV interview.
Damn.
February 3rd, 2023. Just before 11:30 p.m., the San Antonio Police Department responded to the Augusta Flat Apartments after reports of a shooting. Officers arrived on scene, making their way to the 4th floor, where they located an apartment door with nearly a dozen bullet holes going through.
A dozen?
Inside
Jesus.
the apartment, a man lay
Who was he
dead
facing
in a pool
against?
of
What the
his own
fuck?
blood. He was identified as 34-year-old Omar Richardson, a convicted felon who just recently was released from federal prison after a 33-month sentence for distributing marijuana with a Draco. He was on federal supervision at the time of his death. Officers would be notified of a male gunshot victim arriving at a local hospital, and investigators would be sent to speak with him in regards to the shooting. 26-year-old Daryl Gentry had been shot in the elbow, suffering a fracture, and had passed out at the hospital from loss of blood. Once awakened and comfortable, he broke down to investigators what had happened. Going by the name BTB Savage, Daryl explained he's a rapper who was asked for a feature by someone he somewhat knew. Being that it was already late, Savage just wanted to get the feature over with and make his money, but when he said he was missing certain recording equipment, the alleged artist named Ishmael claimed to have it, which set off a red flag in Savage's head. He hesitantly decided to invite them over anyways. They'd arrive in a vehicle with multiple people inside, and Savage would ask who they were, as he was unsure if they were just dropping Ishmael off or planning on coming inside. Ishmael would say they were his crew, but said to just let his uncle come, and asked if his uncle could use the bathroom. His uncle was really his stepfather.
What the
Omar
fuck?
Richardson.
What type of Alabama shit is this? Why is your uncle your stepdad?
But Savage would notice how when Omar went to use the bathroom, it seemed he was taking the opportunity to look around and see who else was inside. Savage had been alone with just his fiance and his 4-year-old son. Getting the equipment ready, Ishmael would notice he was missing something, and Omar, the pretend uncle, would tell him to go get it. Another red flag as Savage wondered why the artist was going to get the equipment instead of Omar. Ishmael would leave the apartment and Savage would lock the door when Omar would say he wasn't on that type of time before pulling out money to show nothing funny was happening. He'd compliment Savage's chain, ask if he could smoke, and the two would start rolling up when Savage took out his own gun, placing it on the counter. At that time, Omar grabbed the gun, asking him what type it is. Savage would tell him he's making him uncomfortable and ask for the gun back when Omar turned the gun on him, pulled his own gun out, and aimed the second gun at Savage's fiance who was sitting on the couch.
What the fuck?
He demanded the money Savage was seen flexing on Instagram.
Oh shit.
He demanded his jewelry. Savage would go to take off his chain when Omar moved in, and Savage wrapped up while the two wrestled to the ground as a shot went off. Savage's fiance was able to get control of one of the guns while Omar was on top of Savage. She fired twice, striking Omar while the two continued wrestling on the floor. As the two wrestled in blood, shots started firing through the front door into the apartment by gunmen outside. His fiance would fire 2 shots back out the door when Savage told her to shoot Omar again. She'd aim, fire, and strike Savage in the elbow, fracturing his bone while his arm went limp. She'd shoot Omar again as the bullet wounds now started to take a toll on his dying body. He tried to get up only for his legs to buckle. He'd then crawl while Savage placed his hand over Omar's, firing the gun to empty out the ammo. Once Omar realized he was defeated, he started begging for his life.
Oh, now you want to live for your life. I was trying to still catch you fucking
fiance from the apartment, leaving Omar to die as they made their way to the hospital. Investigators would tell Savage they were ruling the shooting as self-defense, and behind the scenes, a relative of Omar's would reach out to Savage, telling him his brother was in the wrong for what he did, especially with Savage's son being home. He'd further state there was no beef and they were willing to accept the loss, and it would seem things would be able to move forward.
Why would you try and rob him? It makes no sense.
Social media lit a fire that couldn't be put out. Vlad TV would get in contact with BTB Savage for an interview, and according to a source close to BTB, had to somewhat convince him to do the paid interview by promising how viral he'd become and saying he'd promote the mixtape. Those close to Savage, especially family, warned him to leave it alone. This interview would be the match that lit the fire. March 26, 2023, Vlad TV would post a
2.1 million views in a week
titled BTB Savage on him and his girlfriend killing a man who tried to rob him. With the views rising, BTB saw how much he could capitalize off the situation, and 2 days later, posted a picture of himself standing in the dry blood from the crime scene with the caption.
Why? What was the why? I don't get why. What's the point of that? What do you gain from doing that? I don't. Wow, what do you actually gain from doing this type of shit? I don't understand. Like, what do you actually gain from doing this type of shit? The family, you probably have to see that shit. But he is an idiot for trying to rob you. But at the same time, it's like, what do you gain from doing this? Oh, I'm a guy that murdered a guy that tried to rob me. Here's his blood. Let me show it everywhere, so his mom can see it, so his dad can see it, so the children can probably see it. Yeah, he tried to rob me, but here's the dry blood on my door. Didn't even clean that shit up. You just what the fuck?
Fast forward a death
I don't get it. And then you're flexing with your arms and shit. It's weird.
Beefing,
It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's not even
BTB
like you're bad. It's just weird,
death
fam.
of Omar, who he
You're standing in dry fucking
killed.
blood. Go have a shower.
Omar's family didn't
Disgusting.
hesitate to respond. A member of Omar's family sent a message promising to make his mama cry how their mama cried.
Oh shit.
Savage's own mom would call him telling him to take the picture down, but he wouldn't do it. He told her the man deserved what happened after trying to rob him and threatening to kill his family. He said if it had been him that died, they'd be bragging about it online.
Maybe they will, but dry blood,
March
just like
30th,
dry blood is weird, bro.
2023, BTB Savage would post 2 more graphic pictures to his Twitter at 5:04 p.m. An hour later, he'd be found dead. His white Mercedes was sprayed with bullets when 2 shooters opened fire from within a vehicle before getting out and gunning him down.
Calm as a
Witnesses
bitch.
described the shooters as wearing all black with black shades, and the suspect vehicle is a black Subaru. Officers arriving on scene immediately determined the shooting was targeted, with well over 50 shots having been fired. But wouldn't understand the motive, as BTB was killed in Houston, 3 hours away from San Antonio.
Damn.
A source close to the rapper says he was told to leave San Antonio, if not the entire state of Texas, after the failed robbery attempt. Instead, he chose Houston because he had friends there, or so he thought.
Idiot.
Fellow YouTuber Seti Nash would highlight the fact that the internet has indicted a Houston rapper after a self-incriminating post. BJ Goddamn would apparently take to Instagram with a post reading, "Hey, somebody tag Vlad TV ASAP, goddammit, and tell his ass BJ trying to see when he gonna do another interview with that BTB Savage guy. Probably never again, huh, doggy?" The post was deleted soon after, but was said to have been posted before BTB Savage was even identified as the victim. What's even more interesting is the fact that his almost all black outfit and black shades closely matched the description of the shooters that hadn't even been described yet.
This nigga just commit. Okay,
a source close to BTB Savage states the
picture
of BJ was taken near the crime scene, and those that played a role in BTB's death were present at the crime scene after the fact.
What?
It's also alleged that one of BTB's own...
So they killed him and they were still there while he was dead. You guys are ruthless as fuck. What the fuck? I would go home. Actually, I wouldn't commit murder. That's crazy.
Friends who had a key to where he was staying let one of the men involved in the murder into the apartment, where they stole all of BTB's clothes, money, and jewelry. A family member of
After the guy died, you want to rob him,
saying we having a block party tonight, followed by Bank of America sent that hit. They got tired of him taking their money. The same source that provided me with information for this video has told me law enforcement received all the video evidence from the attempted robbery incident involving Omar. There is even more evidence involving BTB Savage's murder, which is now being investigated by the feds, and arrest can be expected soon. 26-year-old BTB Savage, or Daryl Gentry, was a rapper who portrayed to be a scammer, but in all actuality lived a very different life. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, he'd moved to San Antonio at the age of 6, where one of his brothers was receiving cancer treatment. An honor roll student, Daryl would graduate with a 4.0 GPA before following in his mother's footsteps and joining the Army.
Damn.
Daryl wasn't from the streets, but understood to succeed in music, he'd need to look the part. He didn't portray to be a killer, and when a man tried to rob him, he fought back while his fiancée was able to wound the man so their family could escape. His biggest mistake was listening to the people that never cared instead of hearing those who did. His family warned him against speaking on the incident as the other family grieved, but the thought of the biggest interview of his career was too tempting. Knowing how rappers' careers infamously blow after beating murders, he saw the potential in him posting those pictures. While he could have taken his life in any direction he wanted, he chose to rap, chose to do that interview, and unfortunately can't change his decision.
Yeah.
Now I spoke with a reliable source that's
very
close to what happened. Like that. And that's why in this video you hear me say some things that don't exactly align with the Vlad TV interview that BTB Savage gave. But trust and believe, everything that took place inside of that apartment was recorded on video from inside and outside. Now there's a lot of different ways to feel about this. He was mocking the death of the man that he didn't even actually kill, his girlfriend did. But he saw a way that he could potentially blow up, and it happens.
Now the girlfriend's grieving as well.
Is infamously tied to a murder. They're saying that
you're flexing someone else's death. Now your
the baby has been tied to a murder. Not even a murder, it was just a self-defense shooting inside of a Walmart. I mean, there's so many different rappers. Chief Keef, when the whole incident happened with Lil JoJo, even though he didn't directly have anything to do with it, it added to his infamy. Yeah. And because BTB Savage wasn't the biggest rapper, he most likely saw the potential in the situation. And he was being told, look, you could take advantage of this. We can do an interview, it'll blow up. He was probably being told by other people he knows to go do an interview and talk about it and do this and do that, and he listened to those people. He listened to the people that never cared instead of listening to the ones that did. And I'm not blaming Vlad TV in any way, shape, or form. I want to make that clear. I said he got killed days after the interview because that's exactly what happened. I said the family was infuriated by the interview because that's exactly what I'm told by a source close to the situation is exactly what happened. Vlad was doing his job and offering whatever he offered. Hey, come on my platform.
That's what happened with Flex. Why are you flexing?
Never even asked him about the music. I mean, he can ask whatever the fuck he wants to ask. It's his platform. At the end of the day,
that's so stupid.
I'm pretty sure we all know why he was given the opportunity to go up there.
Yeah, because he just killed someone.
Now, could he have done the interview without the pictures? Yeah. But he made that decision as well. Now, as far as the rapper posting, hey, Vlad, ask him to do an interview again and all that,
shit's on the internet.
I don't even know what to think. If he ends up getting booked for that, that's you played. You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't get booked for it and was just clout chasing the situation, that in itself is just another thing that's like weak, you know?
Yeah,
you got some people
you know what I'm saying? It's the word, bro.
Actually be involved in shootings and murders and try to benefit off of it. And then you got people that ain't even involved that try to involve themselves for the fame, for the clout, and for the attention. Drop y'all thoughts in the comment section. I'm gonna have BTB Savage's mother's Cash App in the comment section.
That's his fault, man. Like, he should have never just done that interview. He should have never threatened someone else's death. He should have just went on with his life, carried on living, get money, and disappear. But no, you want to be threats to someone dying, blood everywhere, you idiot.